De meeste druiven die vandaag de dag in Californië staan aangeplant, hebben een duidelijk Franse, Italiaanse of Duitse herkomst. Een uitzondering vormt de blauwe, zeer veel voorkomende druif Zinfandel. De Amerikaanse wijnschrijver Rod Smith heeft naar de origine van de Zinfandel onderzoek gedaan.
The mystery of Zinfandel is that we don't know where it came from, at least not exactly. We know that it came probably from the eastern Mediterranean basin. It may be connected with the Primitivo di Manduria of southeastern Italy. It may be connected with the Schwarze Zinfandler of what is now Hungary, or possibly another variety, the Plavic of Yugoslavia. In any case, Zinfandel appeared here in the middle of the 19th century. It was planted by Italian immigrants, by and large, and it remains the most widely planted red wine grape in California.
De wat vage origine van de Zinfandel verhinderde niet dat Californische wijnbouwers er de vorige eeuw zeer enthousiast over raakten. In het heuvelige wijndistrict van de Santa Cruz Mountains vertelt Paul Draper over de opkomst van de Zinfandel.
In the 1850s and so on, you have, among other varietals, Zinfandel coming from the East Coast to California and being planted and really supplanting those early mission grapes and allowing vintners in California to make what they consider to be a richer style. I think they even referred to it as a richer claret style, which was sort of what they were striving for in those days. And it was the dominant varietal from in the 19th century. It even is the dominant varietal today. That is, the plantings of Zinfandel throughout California are perhaps the largest.
Tegenwoordig bestaat er in Californië zelfs een vereniging van zo'n 50 wijnbedrijven die zich samen inspannen om wijnen van de Zinfandel bekendheid en aanzien te geven. De groep heet Zinfandel Advocates and Producers, kortweg ZAP. De voorzitter van deze zappers is de voormalige geschiedenisprofessor Jerry Saps, die zelf van Zinfandel een specialiteit heeft gemaakt.
We specialize in Zinfandel at Storybook Mountain for a number of very good reasons. And basically what it has to do with is something that happens or has been happening for a long time in Europe, and that is the matching of grape and site. I mean, you don't grow Bordeaux varieties in Burgundy and the reverse. What you've done is you made that kind of match, and that's what we did when we bought Storybook Mountain. The land had been abandoned, we had to replant, so we considered what soil was, what the exposure was, what the climate was, what the wind currents are, all the many factors that go into making this particular match of grape and estate. And with that in mind, we then planted Zinfandel. Our desire, frankly, was to make great red wine. It's Zinfandel because it goes with our estate, and Zinfandel is one of the premier varieties. When one goes to make a match between estate and grape, you have a number of considerations. The two most important are probably soil and climate. I personally think that red clay soil goes well with Zinfandel. It tends to lend it greater depth, greater spice. Those soils are found, are fairly rare in the Napa Valley, about 10% of the Napa Valley has this soil. They're found elsewhere in the North Coast and elsewhere in California.
Bij het traditionele klassieke wijntype van de Zinfandel, een wijntype met veel kleur, veel kracht, veel smaak en veel fruit, heeft de eigen chefkok van het wijnhuis Fetzer een perfect gerecht bedacht.
We have here a little loin of venison, tenderloin of venison that we're going to quickly pepper, put some other herbs on the outside of it, sear it, and then serve with it a wonderful blackberry sauce, which puts together two very complementary flavors. The Zinfandel has that blackberryish, pepperish quality to it, and so we're going to have that be a complement in the dish that we're going to do. So we're going to take our venison. What I've done is to put together a mixture here of pepper and fennel And interestingly, a little bit of lavender flower, dried lavender flower, which has a lovely aroma to it. Okay, we have our pan hot here, just to the smoking point. We're going to take the venison, and you don't have to use venison for this. You could use beef or even pork tenderloin. Any good lean meat will work. Going to take it and brown it evenly, and it's giving off a wonderful aroma. You really get the hit of the pepper with this and the fennel. And now it's nicely browned all over. And to finish this so that it doesn't overcook and dry out, we're going to finish it in the oven. And the sauce for this dish, while our meat is cooking, what I've done is to make a very simple sauce, a reduction sauce that uses blackberries. Blackberries are sort of a treasure in California, and they are also the flavor note that comes from a really elegant Zinfandel, and these are fantastic. So what we've done, put shallots, a good rich stock, the blackberries, some herbs like sage and bay leaf into it, reduced it down, and then at the point in which the flavor is there, finished it with just a tiny bit of honey to bring back some of that berryish sweetness, strained it all out. Gosh, this is what it looks like. Isn't that beautiful? And there's the dish. The venison tenderloin roasted in pepper with a blackberry sauce. It's a perfect match for an elegant, wonderful red Zinfandel.
Het wildgerecht van John Ash werd gemaakt voor een klassieke rode Zinfandel. Maar van de gelijknamige druif worden ook andere wijnen gemaakt, waaronder een lichtere rode wijn en diverse soorten rosé. Sommige rosés worden omschreven als blush wine, andere als white Zinfandel. Je zou kunnen zeggen dat de wijn Zinfandel net zoveel schakeringen kent als de Californische keuken of de Californische levensstijl. Het is dan ook een zeer Californische wijn.
I think Zinfandel has an immense appeal outside the United States as well as inside the United States. And that's primarily because there's no grape more associated with California than Zinfandel. Zinfandel epitomizes that kind of fruit and fullness and richness that people think of in regard to California. And it's very well accepted in Europe. They taste the berry character. They find the wine compatible, at least in structure, with other European wines. And in addition to that, it really goes with a wide variety of foods. There are a number of different ethnic cuisines with which the wine goes, as well as the modern trend towards pure, cleaner flavors in food and freshness in food.
Californië's tweede belangrijke blauwe druif is de Cabernet Sauvignon, afkomstig uit Bordeaux. Ook deze druif is zeer gebaat bij de koele zeemist die na een warme dag over de wijngaarden trekt, want daardoor blijven de druiven hun fruit en hun frisheid behouden. De Cabernet Sauvignon groeit in Californië sinds 1837, maar het heeft tot diep in deze eeuw geduurd voordat de Californische wijnmakers er echt fijne wijnen van gingen maken. Iemand die pionierswerk verrichtte was Robert Mondavi, die in 1962 heel Europa bereisde en daar kennis maakte met fijne wijnen, waarna hij besloot om dat soort wijnen ook in Californië te gaan maken. Hij deed dit onder andere door kleine vaten van eikenhout te gaan gebruiken voor de rijping van de wijn. De vergisting van Californische Cabernet Sauvignon vindt tegenwoordig plaats in tanks.
After the end of fermentation, when there is no more sugar left, what we do with a portion of our Cabernet is give it another 2 weeks extended maceration. And what that does is continue to extract tannin and flavor from the skins, at the same time losing some of the harsher tannins. So you end up with more tannin, but softer tannin.
Vervolgens vindt de vatrijping plaats en wordt de wijn soms op klassieke wijze geklaard met vers eiwit. Het eindresultaat van alle inspanningen kan indrukwekkend zijn. Ons bezoek aan het kaleidoscopische Californië is hiermee ten einde. Maar onze ontdekkingsreis door de nieuwe wijnlanden nog niet. Want volgende week beginnen we ons bezoek aan het immense Australië, dat tegenwoordig een van de meest toonaangevende wijnlanden ter wereld is. Dus graag, tot over een week.
Bij deze cursus hoort een cursusboek. U kunt in het bezit komen van dit boek door overmaking van 19,90 gulden op postbank 1494300 ten name van AVRO Service in Hilversum. Het boek is ook verkrijgbaar bij Boekhandel en Slijter.